Yo, what up, y'all?
Hey, how's it going?
This is Free Talk with the doubles and the other doubles.
Yeah. Yeah, and Youngins down here.
Oh
Say
yeah,
hi, Youngins.
we finally have our first special guest.
Whee! Yeah,
He can't quite
live
talk
guest.
yet, so you might hear him smacking the microphone, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's gonna try to stay, behind the scenes today.
Yep,
Just
learning the
learning the
ropes.
ropes, learning the
Yeah.
industry. So,
So can he teach us
so
stuff?
most definitely.
Yeah. So all right, y'all. Today we got no topics, as we promised. Our free talk. So you get to just see us brainstorm because we are spinning up a new channel specifically for these type of events and these type of things. So hey, this is our free form. This is kind of our side gig, side hustle, if you want to call it.
Most
And
definitely.
we talk about random stuff, not anything really related to Wheel of Time or anything like that. Although a subject may come up, but it's going to be random and all stuff. So we're literally have not picked a name or anything quite yet, but Derek had some stuff and ideas, as did I. But Derek, you thought of this first, so you get first dibs. Go for it.
Well, yeah, most definitely. Well, I thought about, you see, there's some crazy ideas that I have sometimes. And this might even end up as a third channel. Uh,
All
but
right.
I thought this would be kind of hilarious if we spent a little bit of time once a week teaching ourselves to code SQL.
I'd be down
Good,
because
because
I
well,
I'm gonna piggyback on you on that. So go ahead.
well, well, it's a useful thing,
Mm-hmm.
but people are interested in learning it,
Mm-hmm.
and we're pretty good at teaching stuff,
True.
and we can make things interesting. And hey, I heard that's how Khan Economy they give out what is it called, influencer money or whatever
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
called. So yeah, bring that on.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take you one step up, man. I like that idea
Nice.
because I was thinking as soon as you said that, I immediately clicked. Because another thing that would be kind of cool is instead of just focusing on SQL, but we'll do it in segments,
Yeah,
different subjects. So SQL,
sure.
have like 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever course.
Yeah. Hmm.
Then something that I kind of want to get into a little bit, and I kind of suck, but I'm good at figuring stuff out, would be some Linux kind of stuff.
Almost definitely.
And then
Most
we can,
definitely.
and then we can maybe get into different topics. Just chunk them out a little bit, 4 to 6 week kind of
Yeah.
thing.
We
Not
could do a
super
good
like
beginner
advanced crazy
series.
stuff, but
Yeah, exactly.
basics.
So, dude, so we could find a 6 week SQL course,
Yep,
and then we could find like a 6 week Linux course,
right,
and then chunk through it.
right. Then we can talk about like hardware, software, Windows 11, whatever, Mac systems, and have like a
All that kind of.
have like a learning channel.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I'm down.
All
I'm
right,
down.
well, dang, we're gonna
Jeez,
next
these
thing
are
you know, it's gonna
exciting.
be a full time job.
Right, I'd be down with that.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. I wouldn't deny that.
Because that means if it is a full-time job, that means
We're both
it's
getting paid.
replacing the money from my other full-time job. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So awesome. So we have to
Word.
come up with some names. So our
Yep.
hot our normal channel, y'all, is Heels of Time.
Yep.
We talk about the Wheel of Time, as in the book series. Could be the well, right now it's just season one, but the Amazon show as well. And
Yep.
we then go for not necessarily pop cultural influences, but it's could be pop culture, could be
Okay.
mythology, culture, not pop culture, but regular real culture from around the world, and we kind of analyze what
Yep.
we think Robert
Including.
Jordan meant or potentially got
Mhm.
influences from, and we discuss that. That's our normal show. And
Most
then,
definitely.
as we usually start planning stuff for the shows and all that, We usually, just because of the nature of Derek and myself, we get waylaid on other topics, and we just start chit chatting, and we're like, man, we have a really good idea. And then by the time we talk again, we forget it. So we're like, well, there's a way to record it, and then people can just hear us talk if they like to hear us friggin' talk. This one is not necessarily well, will be nice for the kid, but he can't really hear us. But not necessarily underage appropriate at times. So, just saying, if you got little ears, you may want to cover them sometimes. Because, sometimes we go off on tangents and rants and stuff. And literally, this is the stuff show. So, cool. So that was an easy mic drop one. So that was an easy go.
Most definitely. So I think we should start on that like right away. And I have a funny angle.
All right.
So here's the thing. I watch all these YouTube videos, and they always like start you off with, okay, you have your software. Okay, connect to this server. Okay. Well, what if I don't have my software? What if I don't have my software installed?
How do you install the software?
How do you find the software? Like, I think it would be funny to just have us both kind of struggle through this, because, you know, if I go to work, then, you know, it's kind of like, well, this is a big boy situation. You know, it's all Microsoft suite. Like, I have all the software there. I don't have to worry about it. I don't know how that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be good to do that aspect of it too.
All right.
And even if we show some humility while we're struggling through it, I think people would appreciate that.
Bro, I don't know anything about SQL.
Well, a lot of humility for well, dude, struggling to I'm serious. I've never had to install the actual program to get the thing. And we're not gonna be able to, you know, get some Microsoft suite, so we're gonna have to figure that out. So that'll be funny. Yeah, that'll be funny.
That would be hilarious. So. And for the record, everybody, if you're like, who the hell are these some bitches? So yeah, both of our day jobs, we are IT guys. We just do very different things.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're struggling through the IT aspect, because we know our tech.
And he's technically IT, and I'm data, but we're both in technology.
Right. So, yeah, information technology as a whole, and I wasn't going to get into that kind of detail, but whatever. So it's not like we're struggling with how do I do these things? Nah, we know how to do, like, stuff. But it's branching our knowledge set out. And no, this was not rehearsed. This one never is. So he likes to throw down some crazy ideas, and then I usually say no. And then I'm like, well, that's maybe not a bad idea if we do it like this. And we banter back and forth, and then I have something crazy. And he's like, huh? No.
But we got one here, so cool. That'll be coming, y'all. So look out for that. Just a second.
Kid duty for the night, what can I say? But,
no, my wonderful wife was.
She was kind enough to nab him real quick.
Swoop in and rescue the son from my evil clutches. No, I love my son. I'm doing the best I can, but you know, the show must go on, and he's fine. He's fed. He's not wanting. He's just
chilling.
Didn't want to sit in my lap at the moment. So, luckily, Mom was able to finish up preparing his wonderful meal. He's going to have sweet potatoes and green beans tonight.
Nice.
And I think the food was ready. He's gonna eat better than me tonight. No, I'm just kidding. But
that's right. I don't like sweet potatoes. Never have.
You know, you probably. You know, I can't imagine you ever would, because you're not like a sweets type of guy.
Nope.
And I never liked sweet potatoes until one day someone said, you know, you can have it prepared with sugar and cinnamon. And I was like, huh. And then it tastes just like pumpkin pie at that point.
Pretty much.
I mean, if you put in the nutmeg or whatever. And then it's delicious to me. But you have to sweeten it up a lot. And if that's not your thing, and
Now, like,
Speaking of
the
sweet, I
the
don't.
fams loves it, man. They like have it out,
Oh.
do that like caramel
Mm-hmm.
sauce and stuff on top of it or whatever the hell they do.
Yep.
Even as
Mm-hmm.
a kid, and they're like, oh my god, it's like candy because we called them candy yams because it
Candy yams,
basically was
right?
so
Yep.
if they dry it, if they like cooled off, it was like a rock. That's how much sugar was in that stuff.
Yeah, I
And
see.
everyone, I
Yeah.
mean, everyone's like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let me get that sugar. I was like,
Mm-mm.
never liked it, never really
No.
did.
Well, dude, no. I have something
Sweet
that you
potato
need to
fries,
avoid.
mm-mm.
You need to avoid this. Then this is not sweet potatoes.
Okay,
I'm not even gonna name drop because I don't want anyone to get upset.
all right.
There's this cookie business, okay?
Mm.
And I think they're a
Cookies are
franchise.
delicious though.
Yeah, I think they're a franchise. I don't think it's just locally here. But they make, let's just say gourmet cookies.
Aw,
Like you remember Mrs. Fields in the
Mhm.
mall, like how back in the
Mhm.
day, and you're like, well, these are kind of nice cookies, and that's why they're expensive.
like a step
Rem-
above them.
Yeah. Well, and then remember
The
the
Gigantors.
small, they're big, but they're personal size.
Yep.
The chocolate chip ones, and then you could have designs on that. Think kind of like that level and maybe a step up. Like,
Mhm.
you know, these are nice. It's like, oh, confectionery.
Does it start
high
with a D?
quality,
The company.
maybe a D or a C. I don't.
Oh,
One
okay.
of the two. Something. Anyway, here's the point. They make some kind of waffle cookie, and it
Interesting.
comes. Yes, it comes with a dollop of frosting, but it's like buttercream frosting, so it looks like a dollop of butter.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes, but here's the part where maybe they take it too far. They
Yeah.
literally give you a side of maple syrup, like to
The
put
dip.
on it.
Bro, that sounds delicious.
It is.
I mean, it would put me into a coma.
So
But
I
yeah.
want you to know that my formerly, pregnant wife, who still has like a good healthy appetite because she does breastfeed our son. Yeah, she had like 3 bites of this thing in it. She's like, no.
Too much?
I'm like, yeah, this does look rich. And she's like, make sure to get it all in like 1 bite. So I get the
All
dollop
of the stuff.
the-
Yeah.
and the Theo, it was delicious. It's like everything you imagine. It tasted like I was eating a waffle, but
But-
it's a cookie too. So compound the calories on top of like what already tastes like a waffle. I
Too
was
much.
like, whoa. Yeah, like this thing has to be like 800 calories. Like it's like dense. Like
Mm.
man. So
But you
yeah,
could- you
really
could-
good.
But delicious.
But
But too much.
so
Pushed
sweet.
it too far.
So sweet, yeah, that it was like after you ate it, it was just like
You needed to drink. Just like
it's too sweet. There's this, yeah,
film on your mouth.
yeah, almost like. So, if you have to get the sweetness to that level to enjoy something, maybe you're doing something wrong, you know.
Yeah.
So you
So that's a
probably
no.
sweet potatoes aren't going to be for you for a kind of a different kind of, but like you see what I mean? It just made me think of that. Like, how much sugar would you have to put on a sweet potato for you to eat it, but you don't like sweet stuff like that?
Mm-mm. I'd rather have it, I'm going to say raw, but I'd rather have
Right.
it straight up like a baked potato, but like sweet potato. But I don't like the texture. I just don't
So what
like them.
would someone have to do? What would someone have to change it, like chip style, and make it salty and savory or something, like thin, crispy
Zero.
thin?
Throw it away.
No.
Garbage.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I know I'm like an outlier because like it's not anything my
Well,
family did because my whole family
dude,
likes them, but I
dude.
just don't.
You know what's funny? There are just certain cultural staples that Theo is like adverse to, and it's not just outside of his culture. Like he does not like Greek yogurt,
And I'm Greek.
not at all.
And I'm
And
Greek.
he's Greek, so
Right.
it's
Tomatoes. Don't like
non-discriminatory.
tomatoes.
Don't like tomatoes.
Mm-mm.
You'll eat some olives.
Oh, olives! I'll eat the hell out of them.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, everyone's like, "What the hell? How can you be Greek and not like tomatoes?" It's like in everything, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's like the one." My mom said that's I'm a big guy, y'all. I mean, if you can't tell, I like my food. I like a lot of different foods. I'll eat cultural foods, all that stuff. I enjoy it. However, she said as a kid, the one thing I would never eat was tomatoes. Ever. Ever. She's like, you would try everything, but she's like, I couldn't even like ram it in your mouth. You're like, She's like, I think you tried it once and you were like, no. And she's like, everything else I could get you to kind of, no. Nothing. Crazy shit is, I like salsa. Love salsa.
Yeah, that's true.
But I can't deal with a regular raw tomato, like a sliced tomato. Can't deal.
As a matter of fact, you like, Mexican food in general.
Oh, yeah.
With all that tomato stuff.
Right. Sometimes it can be ruthless. I won't deny that. And I pay for it, but that's probably why I don't like tomatoes. Acidic.
That makes sense. Yeah, yep.
They're the most acidic fruit we eat.
Yep.
And I tend to be acidic anyway. With my stomach is acidic.
No,
Thankfully, I like hot stuff. Still, and I can still handle it. But it's weird. Just tomatoes just don't. And yogurt, hell no.
Right.
That one is different though. I used to love it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Did something happen? Yeah.
Did you get something in your yogurt that spooked you? Or?
No. So my grandmother. So we Greek people, right? She made her own yogurt.
Oh wow.
And
that's impressive.
Hell yeah! My grandmother was mega skilled in the kitchen. That's another story. But she's like, all right, Teddy, come help me make the yogurt. Like, okay.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, in my youngin' head, maybe 10, 12 years old, I didn't know what the hell yogurt was. I know that she would make it. She'd boil the milk. Next thing I know, it's in the fridge. And we got yogurt. Yeah. So we're doing the milk stuff, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden she pulls this stuff out of the fridge. And I'm like, that shit's been in the back of the fridge for like months. What the hell is this? And she's like, oh yeah, this is the mother. I'm like, the what?
No.
Well, to culture that stuff, you have to have, it's like sourdough. You have to get like the starter.
So may I give the visual? So the mother
it wasn't, by the way, not moldy or anything too, because it's already like good to go.
The mother is a bacteria culture, and I would describe it like a rubber flap is what, like a disc.
Pretty much.
I mean, it'll be the shape of whatever it's growing.
Yeah, it was the old school yogurt that she had from like her Chicago days, which was like 60 years ago.
Oh, good Lord.
And it's just, you save a little bit and you just keep it going.
Yep.
And in my mind, that's spoiled. It's not.
Oh, for sure.
But in my 10-year-old head, what?
Right.
What the hell are you doing? And she's like, yeah, this is how you do it. And she's stirring it, doing her thing, and I'm looking at like, what in the hell is going on with this stuff? I'm eating this? What? And then the funk releases.
Oh.
And I'm like, what in the hell is this? And she's like, she's like, can you get the cheesecloth? I'm like, okay. We're going to put it back in the fridge. Nah. She puts it in the fucking oven. And I'm like, we're going to bake it? She's like, no, we just leave it there for a couple days. And that just blew I'm like, but it's milk. She's like, yeah, but the culture already, it's fine. I was like, how is it fine? She's like, it's spoiled. She's like, it's not spoiled. It's fine. That's how you make yogurt. And after that, because then it's like, I was there when you made it. And it's like, oh, you put it from the oven, because you put the oven on like low. And then once you get it like warmed up, then in our case, because it has to be like a cold sealed area, microwave.
Right.
So it went into the cheesecloth to like drip that nasties out, which is gross anyway. Pop that junk in the microwave for like overnight, night and a half. I don't even know. But I'm like, that's what that funk is? Because I would never be around when she would make it. I get the aftermath, and I'm like, didn't really think anything. Next thing I see, the yogurt's in the fridge. Yeah, cool. It's thick and cool. Good to go. Put a little sugar, put a little whatever. They actually liked it with maple syrup. It was almost like a sundae kind of thing. Cool. Nope. After it was made, over. So it was like, but it's so good for you. And I'm like, hell no. Now, mind you, I like other stuff that has yogurt in it. I just can't eat straight up yogurt anymore.
No, no, I got you. I wanna parallel this to something. This is like a Instagram little short clip or something I saw of the Joe Rogan Experience show, and he's a pretty nutty guy. I know, whatever your opinion is of the guy, but this was about immersive diving or something. What is it called? Saturated diving, where instead of just being under the water, I guess for like 30 minutes to 2 hours at a time, you can be under there for like 6 hours at a time.
Yep.
And they had to develop this technology because, well, when there are pipes at the bottom of the ocean,
By the time you
pumping
get down there,
gas,
do your work and get back up.
you need to maintain
Be there for a
that,
while.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it takes quite a long time. So this guy said that as he was down there, and this isn't a scientist, I don't think. This is like an engineer, like just your worker bee, right? And he's down there at the bottom of the ocean.
Bro.
I could have that wrong, but he's down there at the bottom of the ocean, and he sees a shrimp, and maybe he is there just observing with a camera, and he sees a shrimp, right? And it's totally translucent because he's at
Sure.
the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it doesn't need it. Yeah.
But the shrimp notices him, and it's like a big shrimp.
Yeah,
so
prawn. Yeah,
it
big guy.
must have a little bit of a brain in there, and it makes eye contact, and it just stares at him.
Sure.
And then it looks around, and then it looks back at him, that kind of stuff. And he's fascinated with just how it looks. He can see the heart beating, he can see the blood flowing, like he can see the gills opening and closing, all this stuff, right? So he gets back into his little submersible, right, as the story goes. And, well, what's on the menu? I go to open the freezer, and what is shrimp? Frozen shrimp. He goes, I can't eat that. I can't. Not after looking at that. Not after looking at that little shrimp.
Yeah.
It's some visceral thing. When we see where our food comes from, it makes it difficult.
Well, it's like if you have some chickens and you're hanging out with your chickens.
Yep.
When they stop laying the eggs or what do you do? Do you let them be chickens and just do their thing? Or do you harvest for meat?
Right.
Well, if you named your little chicken Bessie,
that's going to make it harder.
it's going to make it real tough to eat the chicken or the cow or whatever. Right. I'll be honest, man. I like my meat straight up. I'll say that. But if I had a farm, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I'm not laughing at you. It's just I was like picturing, like if you had like a lamb, you're like, all right, lamb chop, let's roll. Follow me around.
Right.
Lamb chop's following Theo around.
And you're literally making lamb chop, eat, drink, do its thing. Yep.
Yeah. Sooner or later, you're like,
how the hell are you gonna eat lamb chops?
No. Yeah.
I mean, you shear it for the wool and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, guess what, little lammy lamb?
Yeah. It's over.
I don't think I could do it. Push comes to shove, we have like friggin' Fallout 4 going down, and game.
No.
You got to make it rain. Yeah.
Let me tell you, dude. You might not be able to do it for yourself. You might be right about that, but I bet you could do it for your wife. You see what I mean? And
true.
That's just how it is. It's like a push come to shove situation, and you're like, well, I can't let her starve, and this is perfectly good meat here.
Right.
If I know how to take care of it, I'm not gonna be able to eat it once I do, but like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you do that, and then you see her like eating it, and and maybe sooner or later you go, you know what? Let me have some of that. I don't know.
Let me get that lamb chop.
But yeah, I think it's kind of like human beings are kind of pre-programmed sometimes to like. People say we're very selfish, but also we're very social. So like, sometimes we're able to overcome fears or whatever. Not even, maybe that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
To rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
And,
you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, like the guy that this is kind of an extreme version, but the guy that smashed up his own foot to get out from under that boulder. and to the
Right.
point where like he basically amputated it. You
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Um,
Women who have all of a sudden their kids getting trapped under the car lift the car.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Without
that's
turning
adrenaline,
green.
but yeah.
Yeah, without turning green.
Yep, no green, no Hulk.
You know how.
But that's a hell of a lot of weight just to haul out. So yeah, I mean, you sometimes
Yeah.
just got to rock it out. Dig it? Adrenaline's a funny beast. That's kind of
most
our
definitely.
that's our, I would say our drug, but I think that's the thing that makes us
It
crank
gives
out.
it gives humans the edge.
Yeah.
In well, sometimes
Sort
it can be
of.
to your detriment, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh
it's
yeah.
literally fight or flight.
Yep.
And sometimes fight is the right thing, but sometimes flight is the right thing, right?
Yep.
If your adrenaline goes, you don't really have control really in that moment of what you're gonna do.
No.
You see a grizzly bear, I hope my feet move in the opposite direction, right?
Slowly,
Like,
because it can still outrun you, bro.
yeah, it can, but the further you get away, the less it wants to spend its energy
True. Yep.
to get to you, right? It
Yep.
doesn't even know if you taste good necessarily, unless it's already been eating people, in which case I
You're
mean,
screwed anyway. Yeah,
have
you're
a-
total,
yeah, a
yeah, it
chance
doesn't
anyway.
matter. You're zero.
But yeah, those are amazing creatures. But and a lot of people have homes now, kind of where their territory is, because we're going into their territory, they're coming into our territory. So there's this gray zone, this demilitarized zone. Bears keep showing up in people's houses and stuff. It's scary. I feel bad for the bear, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's scary for the family too. You know,
Hell yeah.
It's like all the way around. It's like, I don't think, it's just, there's this crazy guy I heard about that, no offense, maybe he's not crazy. Maybe he's just, I don't know, but he lets this bear come into his house. He gives him a hug and they cuddle.
Huh.
And then and then he gives him like some fish or something. And then the bear leaves. Don't run out of fish, old man. That's all I'm going to say.
Or maybe he could at this point, and the friend's a bear. Friend.
Maybe. I really don't know how bears work. Like, they say they're kind of related to dogs in a way, but that doesn't mean,
Your dog can. I mean, I had a crazy dog, literally.
well,
Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
They can be a little weird.
they can.
But
right?
there's a story. It was actually, if I remember, it's about a wolf, and it was. I want to say it's a Canadian town. I may be wrong on that part. Maybe Russian town. Polar environment, cold, and the wolf was abandoned. Town kind of nursed it back. They're like, okay, good little wolf, go. But he would always come back. It became like the town wolf. Pretty much domesticated. Think of it as like a outdoor cat, but only was a wolf. Make sense?
yeah.
So
No,
it'd come
I
back,
gotcha.
do its thing in the
So
woods,
what is
hunt.
that? Tamed, right?
Yeah,
So-
semi-tamed. But he would let people scratch him, and like he was like a cool wolf.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to, it was either military or hunters. That part, I read the story years ago. They killed
Sure.
the wolf because they thought it was attacking because it was playing with a dog, and they thought the wolf
thought it
was
was
attacking the dog because it's so much bigger, and they were playing and they're wrestling and stuff. But they were friends. They're like, oh no, push. So the town was like, no. And they're like, what? And so they, of course, they felt real bad, like the town people, and they made a statue of the wolf.
Oh man, that is sad. That is
Yeah.
like, that is. Ooh.
And you see like the YouTube videos and like other crap that's like, I had this little lion as I don't think everybody's seen the lion one where they release the lion like 7 years later he goes back and like the lion sees him and is like kind of crawls up and is like whoosh, and gives him like a huge hug in the wild.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
But it was like after 7 years, and they were like tracking to make sure that see how he was doing. And so the guy was like up on like a little hill, kind of like scoping him out, and like the pride kind of like knew he was there, of course, and they kind of looked, and the one separated from the pride, and came up, and he knew it was his old young cub, and he's like, is he going to attack, Because, I mean, at this point, it's got full mane. I mean, he's like, man, he's like the lion, right? Not the little cub anymore. And 7 years is a long time. And they say, even house cats, they're like, oh, they know stuff, but do they remember? Like we do. Dude, the lion came up, was like, I think I recognize you, man. It was like, sniffed, and was like a little cub again, like rolled on its back, and then did the cat stuff. And
wow.
I was like, oh damn, he really did remember. And animals are incredible creatures.
Yeah.
Like, they all got their little things.
Of course.
But no, they got they I think they do remember. They know what they're doing.
I think you're absolutely right. One story that really gets me, and I'm gonna mess up the facts, but the details are the sentiment is what comes out from my memory. So there's an elephant that there's this guy. So this is taking place somewhere in the greater continent of Africa, and this guy tends to elephants that in the area, like kind of nurses them back to health and whatever. And one that he did, and then he let go. It came back to visit him every year for like a long time, and then he passed away.
Oh.
And once a year, it would come back with its not a pride of elephants, a pack or whatever.
Yeah, the crew.
A colony, I think it's called it might be called a colony, let's just say. They came like as a parade.
Oh.
And they did that for like, let's say 5 years after he died, and then like, let's say some time went by, and then like on the 11th year anniversary of his death, the elephant came back by himself this time, and then they never saw him again.
Huh.
Like, he paid his last respects. It was almost like he was telling his buddies, he's like, let's go, he might be there, and if he's there, he'll give us food.
Or something,
or
scratches
something,
or whatever,
blah, blah, blah. And then he's not there, and then his buddy's probably like, well, dude, you know what? He's probably gone. Why don't you say your respects?
Right.
And so, and they know they know where this elephant is. It's not like he passed on. It's like the elephant moved on.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like 11 years after the fellow passed away, and he comes by to pay his one last respect. I mean, that's like mafia, like.
Yeah. I mean, well, they say elephants.
Some people don't have that level of,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that, elephant graveyard. It's like a real thing, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, they do forget because, nothing is infallible. But,
right.
I mean, I think if you make an impact on an animal's life, it remembers. I
think so.
So, 2 separate stories. Sad ones. But, when I said I had a crazy dog, I really did have a little... Derek knows my crazy dog.
Yeah.
And so we had another dog. He was not crazy. He was like super chill. But when we had to put the crazy one down because she finally snapped, he mourned. He and I actually had plans to go to like a movie and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my dog like wouldn't eat. Like, he loved his food. And he was just like circling around. He was like that for like the weekend. And slowly, it probably took him like 3-4 weeks at least before he wasn't like waiting for my other dog to eat with him. Because they would always eat together. We always gave him like breakfast and dinner kind of stuff. And so he would like wait, and we had to take the other bowl away to kind of like, dude, she's not. It's not that she's not around. Like, she's never going to be around again.
Yeah.
And it took him time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. It's an adjustment.
Hell yeah. So after that, we're like, dogs aren't our cup of tea. We do have our kitties. For whatever reason, they leave me alone when I'm on Zoom for the most part. Not when I'm working, but Zoom, yeah. And so we had a sick cat. And everyone's like, cats. Yeah, they have prides, they have their thing, but that's like within their own little pod. If you got like other cats, they're aloof. They don't
Yep,
have but
that's
nah,
right.
they have cat dynamics though. When you have
Right.
multiples. So we had one.
Hmm.
He wasn't doing well. He had a heart failure, and finally it was his time. And my one cat, who we thought is the most aloof, she is the least playful cat. Also pretty true. Most avant-garde cat. You know which one I'm talking about. All of a sudden we couldn't find her. She was hiding underneath she'd never done this before, hiding underneath the couch and wouldn't come out. She actually was so upset she soiled herself, which is of course for her, she's also a very fluffy cat, and so for that was like ungodly embarrassment. She wouldn't
Hmm.
eat for we were concerned she didn't eat probably for a week and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had to get her special food. We had to try to entice her to
Hmm.
eat. And it took her probably 3 to 4 months before she was mostly back to normal.
For sure.
And they're like, yeah, cats don't care. And they do. Like animals do. They got their own thing. So I firmly believe that they when they're in their own little section, they got their own little family dynamic. And they know what's going on.
I think so. I think that's right. And with that, let me say to everybody, please take care of your pets
Yeah.
that you have. And I'm not telling everyone you need to go out and be vegan, or I don't think that's even Theo's message here. But
No, I had meat today.
don't don't be cruel. You know, don't be cruel. You know, I think
Yeah,
that's a good message.
I think so too.
I think we could all get on board with not being cruel. I think the world would be a less cruel place, by definition, at least.
Yeah, you think? Just a touch. Just a touch. All right, bro.
So,
Oh, so go
so
ahead.
you
Go
know what though? I don't think we'd be able to teach a cat sequel. I don't think we're gonna try to do that either.
No. Mm-mm. Yeah, no, they might try, but they'll just smash the
So,
keyboard.
so real quick before we jet out, here's the pop culture moment. So I saw the season finale of Rick and Morty. It doesn't matter if you have or not.
Good, because
Have you seen it?
I have not seen Rick and Morty ever.
Okay, that's
Ever.
fine. So even if you were dying to see this isn't gonna ruin it. So here we go. You're a Star Wars fan, yeah?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, so as a kid, what's like the number one item you wanted out of Star Wars?
Lightsaber.
Of course, right? And then, what is like one of the number one debates that you have about what would happen with a lightsaber?
Would it slice through everything?
Would it slice through everything? And if you dropped it,
Would it just keep going?
would it just keep going? Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So that's the episode.
Ah, that's hilarious, dude.
It is. Morty fumbles around. He gets the lightsaber for Christmas, right, from his grandpa.
Oh, no.
He fumbles around, and then it just goes straight down.
Ah. It goes through everything.
And so they hurry to the basement, and they miss it. And then the president of the United States comes to his house and says, "It's about a mile under its crust now. And if we don't stop it, it's going to blow up the whole planet if it gets to the center."
Oh, shit.
Which
No.
in of itself is kind of like a Star Wars reference of the Death Star. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Oh, man, that's funny. Because
that's pretty
ironically,
good, right?
mind you, this is not scripted.
Hmm.
Because what I was going to bring up right before you was, have you seen the trailer for the new Star Wars game coming out?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
Does it look good?
Hell yeah.
What time period is it?
Technically, it should be between 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. Cool. So like good firm ground for like the lore is completely developed in that time. You know
Yeah,
what I
so
mean?
it's with
It's
Cal.
not like Knights of the
It's
Old
the
Republic where
or it's kind of free. No, this is like literally in the last game. You fought Vader. It was with the Inquisitors and all that
okay,
kind of stuff.
perfect.
So this
So
one
like
kind of like continues the storyline.
so the Mandalorian could show up or whatever, theoretically. You know, those kind of people.
They'd be really young, but yeah, and they'd be
Oh, I
probably
see.
babies. Yeah, 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking the wrong way. I'm
Yeah,
thinking the
you're-
wrong way. You're
yeah.
right. You're right. Between 3 and 4.
As in like between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
So like maybe Admiral Akbar is like Captain Akbar or something.
Right,
like
something like that. Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
Yep. Yeah, that dude, you should check it out.
For sure. For sure.
That shit's gonna be dope.
Yeah. Any word on your new gaming machine?
They say it's supposed to ship on like the 30th, so we'll see.
Okay, word.
30th is a
Nice,
weird
nice.
day since it's like in between and like the day after or the next day is like New Year's Eve, but we'll see. I'm not that concerned.
They'll just do to you what they've been doing to me, and like it just doesn't show up, and then they just change the shipping date of the next day.
Right?
Like, when did that used to be a thing? Well, anyway.
Yeah, we didn't get to it today. Next.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
With this free flow format. I hope you had some fun.